Warning, this episode contains strong language or mature themes. Parental discretion is advised.
Hey, how you doing?
I'm doing good, man. Alright.
Cool.
Welcome to this podcast is uncalled for.
What's uncalled for about it?
Well, you can't tell anybody this.
I'm listening.
Oh my God, what are you doing? I worship Cthulhu just for the free beer.
Eggs are cheap and so are pancakes.
But you didn't even give a chance for a wild card spot!
What are we doing with Tijuana?
And you're like, what did you just say?
It's the exact sound I make when I'm...
That is uncalled for, Michael.
Well, the name of this podcast is Stuff Uncalled For?
This podcast is uncalled for.
Podcast, alright.
Yeah, that was the most ridiculous ending to that game that I've ever seen.
Oh my gosh, I gotta hurry up. Oh my gosh, I gotta hurry up. Oh my gosh, I gotta hurry up.
We're looking at each other in the eye. We're not going to say anything derogatory to the other person. And of course, neither of us is drunk.
So I don't hear Pope Francis saying that he's a prophet, seer, and revelator.
What planet are these people on?
And look, thank you, back from.
See, this is a disgrace.
How'd that happen, really?
And it's got Chick-fil-A.
Don't allow you to think.
Hey, we're getting somewhere.
And now, your host for this podcast, Mike Chernevsky.
Fuji! Welcome to the podcast. So tonight, well, I'm recording this at 9. I'm going to do a thoughts on cars and public transit. There's going to be some politics talk here, so if you don't want to hear that, this might not be the episode for you. And I'm going to be telling a couple of stories that just happened. I'm recording this on August 20th, 2021. You probably won't be hearing this until February 2022. And that's okay. Because the problems I'm talking about will probably still be around by the time this episode comes out. So, we'll start with the personal story stuff. So, as been established on the podcast, I'm presently driving a used Hyundai Sonata, which we purchased a little over 3 years ago, so just before this podcast started. Primarily for me to use to get to and from the chess club and to and from all the clubs that we do. Right. Well, because my credit rating was erased because of bad credits, a lot of it, not all of it, but a lot of it, going back to our Slobodskoy story, the story of me being scammed and being unable to pay it all off. So thanks to our family lawyer who was helping us with my late mother's estate, I was somehow able to erase all. Well, when you have an erased credit history, it is impossible to get a loan. So he had to co-sign on the car with me. The first half of the cost of the car was worked off, and the second half we took out a loan. And all I'm going to say about that loan is I still have another year on it at the time of this recording. I'm not going to go over the specifics, but it is what it is. And it has been a good serviceable vehicle throughout the pandemic. Yeah, I've been using it to do DoorDash, and that's piled up the miles. We bought it with 66,000 miles, and it is currently at 135,000 miles, and running largely without any issues. without any issues. And then about a week ago, I was at tabletop with Brienne. We were doing our play testing, and it was raining pretty heavily. And I think this is where our issues started. So the next morning, Friday morning, I get up, start the car. It's running okay, everything. Start my door dashing, get the pickup, and a couple of things happen. I lose power in the car, and I get the flashing check engine lights. And this is in the middle of the delivery, so this is taking it from the restaurants to the customer. Oh, by the way, I have to cross the state line to get to this customer. And the order came from Lenexa, which, if you're familiar with Johnson County at all, is not even remotely close to the state line. So I'm freaking the hell out, as you do. And I called my mechanic. I'm going to leave the mechanic's name anonymous, so that's so as to not incriminate anyone. He tells me pull the car over as soon as possible. So I get to the side of the delivery, because I still have a delivery to make. Alright, I make the delivery, and then I call AAA, and I'm stuck there for another hour and a half, because I'm afraid of what the hell is going to happen if I try to drive it another centimeter even. So hour and a half later, AAA finally shows up, and we get the car towed. And they say, yeah, it misfired. Let's replace all the spark plugs. Now, mind you, those were still somewhat fairly new spark plugs. So some of them must have been going on that caused a misfire. So all the spark plugs are fixed. Alright, no problems. But it still feels like something's not quite right with the car. Lo and behold, a couple days later, I'd be proven right, because it's misfires again. And this time in a specific cylinder, and they take another look at it, and okay, let's try replacing the ignition coil. Okay. Just anything to make this problem go away. I get it back, and it still feels like it's not quite right. Alright, it still feels like it wants to stall on me. And this is after I've been told, yeah, your mass airflow sensor looks like it's causing a lot of the problems. And this is with my boss recommended me to his mechanic. He took a look at that. He's like, oh, no problem, we'll just clean it off real quick and everything. Yeah, it still did the misfire. So what the fuck is going on? And then Thursday comes around, it misfires yet again. And I bring in to the shop, and they take one. Let's look in there, like, so how much do you still have on the car? How much do you still have to pay on the car? And that's not a statement you ever want to hear. And he's like, okay, it's time to get rid of the car. Everything. Now, mind you, I've had this car for 3 years, and I still have 1 year left on this particular loan. So this car needs to be lasting me until the end of the loan. right? So I called my boss, and he said, well, let's send it up to my guy up in Liberty, which is pretty far and everything. And so I did. I called up AAA again. We got towed up to the place in Liberty, and he took a look at it, and this afternoon he gives me a call, says he's done with work. He could not find anything wrong with it. He put another 22 miles on the car and could not find what was going on. Right, despite my telling him what did go on and everything, all the codes that were popping up and all that. And we got the car back today. My boss actually came by to pick me up and drive me up there, and during that time we were going over, among other things, what to say. So, Shop A did this, that, and the other. Shop B did this, that, and the other. So to put in layman's terms, my shop had been ripping me off and not actually addressing the problem, which is fine and everything, but when we did pick it up, yeah, it started out okay. It started great and everything, but there were points that it just felt like it just wanted to quit. All right. So I don't know what the hell's going on. All right, I'm not a mechanic or anything, but goddamn it, I need that car to be working. And part of the reason I need that goddamn car to be working is that the public transit in the Kansas City area is a fucking joke. Alright? Yeah, the buses are free and everything, but think about this. Think about this for a second. Unless you happen to be living in the urban core of Kansas City, do not expect regular bus service, let alone the streetcar. And I will touch on the streetcar in just a bit. But do not expect decent and regular bus service unless you happen to be living in the urban core. If you live in the suburbs like I do, and like Liberty is, you're fucked. You're fucked. There's no chance in hell that you'll be able to get a bus outside of rush hour. Alright? We are too fucking car dependent in this area. Alright? And the streetcar, yeah, that's cool and everything, but it doesn't go far enough. Alright? It's still just the starter line, starting and ending at Union Station, going up and down Main Streets north of Union Station, looping around the river markets, and then coming back down to Union Station, and that's it. Alright, that's cool and everything, and I'm glad it is being expanded somewhat. To the north, it's being expanded to Riverfront Park, where they've been building new condos and stuff. And to the south, it's going to go all the way to the UMKC campus. Alright, that's fine. It expands the reach of the streetcar significantly, but it's still confined to the urban core of the city. It doesn't go far enough. As you probably know, I did try again to run for city council this election cycle. Spoiler alert, I lost in the primary, and hopefully by the time this episode comes out, we'll be uttering the phrase, Councilman Ryan Spencer. One of the issues this election cycle was an expansion of US 69. And part of that expansion would include a lane that would only be accessible via tolls. Now, there are currently no toll lanes anywhere in the Kansas City area until you reach the Kansas Turnpike. And it's been shown that when they pushed the Turnpike further and further west, that's when businesses started developing along I-70. So having toll lanes is kind of stupid. Because what are you paying for? The money, and I'm quoting Matthew Calcara on this, the money that was used to set up those toll lanes could have easily and I would argue much more effectively been used to set up a streetcar going up and down Metcalf, or barring a streetcar, or maybe in preparation for a streetcar, a Max bus line. Max buses are the bus rapid transits, again relegated to the urban core, and primarily servicing like the poor parts of KCMO. You could have done that, and another thing, we gotta be cutting down on our carbon emissions to climate change is happening. It's going to happen, but we can reduce the impact of that now by moving away from gas-powered cars and towards more public transit. And think about the ecological impact of expanding a highway. Yeah. So not only talking about a solution that could have been a better use of taxpayer money, we're also talking about something that could have been much more friendly to the environment. And I will not hear it from the incumbent. You know who I speak of, because we've already talked about him on 2 different episodes of this podcast. And frankly, I don't believe a goddamn word he says, especially on the subject of the environment. Because in addition to those toll lanes, we're talking about Brookridge. All right, you're destroying a huge patch of green space. Yeah, a golf course, but still, it's green space. For what? Turn it into another Zona Rosa clone? For those unaware, Zona Rosa, it's up north of the river, near KCI airports. Basically a semi-urban shopping district and everything. And I'd say keep the green space. Yeah, I'm not a fan of golf, but keep the goddamn green space. You know, if you want to claim to be environmentally friendly. And of course, you've heard me talking about the houses being built, one of which has been built and people have already moved in. But you're tearing out trees and you're tearing out grass to build those houses. Tell me that's environmentally friendly. Can't do it. I would love to trade in the car for reliable and regular public transit, be it bus, be it streetcar, whatever. Let's just get to that point. And it's 2022. It's 2021, 2022. Whenever. Let's get this done. And again, our public transit needs a lot of help. True. Having public transit free of charge, that's a great idea. That's a great idea, but still, it's got to be a lot more regular. You can't just offer it during rush hour and say all's well in the world, because a lot of people, myself included, do not work 9-to-5 jobs. All right. And this is a problem nationwide. I'll be completely honest with you. Nationwide, and a lot of places do it a lot better than others. Think the New York subway. Heck, I don't even have to think New York subway. I can point to St. Louis. St. Louis has the Metrolink light rail. 2 lines, a red line and a blue line. And it's great. Whenever I'm in St. Louis, that's how I'm getting around. I'm not trying to drive around everything. If I have to drive around, I'll just get a cab. But Metrolink is a freaking lifesaver for me, and I wish we had something like that. Well, we kind of do with the streetcar, but no, stuff like that I would like to see. But in terms of public transit, I think the one of the better examples, unfortunately, not here in the States. It's in London. London has an outstanding public transit system. I've watched all sorts of videos on the London Underground, the Tube, all the tube lines, their little quirks and everything. The DLR, the overgrounds, the trams. The trams are probably the closest thing in London to what we have with the streetcar. And stuff like that. I'd like to see more of that nationwide. And Amtrak, too. That's, in my opinion, the best way to get to St. Louis is just take the Amtrak. Everything, but we gotta change the way we do things around here. And I would love to hear. This is a challenge for Kansas City performing artists. Going back to the Tube for a minute. There's a really great song by Jay Foreman, a British comedian and edutainment, I guess is the term we use for it, because he does a lot of educational videos that are pretty funny. He did a song, it's called the Tube Station Song. It is nothing but a list of every single station on the London Underground, but to song. Kansas City artists, I would love to hear you do this for the streetcar, man. Just of course, it probably won't be as interesting, but I would love to hear your take on city markets. River Market North, River Market West, North Loop, Library, Metro Center, Power and Lights, Kaufman Center, Crossroads Union Station. And then when the new lines are added, Riverfronts, 27th and Main, 31st and Main, Armour and Main, please come up with better names than this. 39th and Main, 43rd and Main, 45th and Main, Cleaver and Main, 51st and Brookside. Yeah, come up with better names than that, please. KCATA. That's you can do better than that. So along the lines of Hornchurch, Ickenham, Hainault, Cockfosters, Ravenscourt Park, and Brumley by Bow. And I better stop there. Please don't sue me, Jay Foreman. But yeah, as much as I like driving, I do like to drive. I don't think I can keep doing it forever. But if we don't step up our game around here, then I really have very little choice in the matter. And I'll just leave it at that. So, thanks y'all for listening, and we will talk to you next time.
This podcast is Uncalled For is hosted, produced and edited by Mike Chernevsky. Opening music is Fantasia by Kevin MacLeod at incompetech.com, licensed under Creative Commons by Attribution 4.0 license. Outro music for this episode is Slumkando by Kai Engel, licensed under a Creative Commons by Attribution 4.0 license. Please like, share, and subscribe to the podcast through your favorite podcasting platform. Like our Facebook page at facebook.com/uncalledforpodcast, and check out our blog with show notes at uncalledfor.home.blog. Thank you so much for listening. We will see you next time.